not the same. But that's okay though. Vito.
Yeah. Big cool. We are not the same.
No, we not.
I'm on a different plane.
Altitude.
A place that's far away
Far away.
from all you other lanes.
Y'all just saying.
We are not the same.
No, we not.
I'm on a different plane.
Altitude.
A place that's far away
Far away.
from all you other lanes.
Vito the Don.
AB the Swan, AB the Realist.
Vito the illest.
And we are ABV, Straight No Chaser, a real show
About real stuff.
for real folks.
That was good.
That was really good. I'm so proud of you.
One take Drake.
Period. I don't like Drake no more though.
Why?
What do you mean? Because he disrespects women.
He disrespects black women a
I
lot.
don't know what he got himself into lately.
And I feel like his music is really catering to, I don't know, it's just in a weird space. It's in a
Yeah.
weird space right now.
Good off Drake. But
This
hey
has
y'all,
nothing to do with the show.
it's all right. It's fine. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
What if people start talking back? What if technology
No.
presented a way for
We're not
people
doing
that's
this.
watching you to talk back to you as you're, that's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah, but
I think it exists already. I'm just
what,
saying.
AI? Yeah. It has
Is that
to.
AI?
You can like create an AI friend on Snapchat now.
That's too much.
Like you can like say good morning, they'll say good morning back.
I got
you know?
Siri for that. I'm not worried about that.
Nah, well,
Me and Siri talk all the time.
yeah, I don't talk to Siri. Feds be watching.
Nah, very true.
Feds is watching.
What are we talking about today?
Ah man, loneliness, being alone.
Alone.
Right. Shout out to Yolanda Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? One time I bought tickets to see CeCe Winans, and for some reason my mind just kept thinking I was going to see Yolanda Adams.
Not
So when
comparable.
I went and I was like on this like contemporary gospel, I felt some type of way. And I don't
comparable.
know why my
I don't know
mind
how
was
you got
like
there.
Yolanda Adams.
Me either. Me either.
I
Two
like
totally
Yolanda.
different,
Two different like almost
Yeah.
genres really. Almost.
real different. I grew up on Yolanda.
I did too.
Unpopular.
What other gospel artists did you grow up on?
But, ooh, Fred Hammond.
Okay, Fred Hammond. Shout out to
Smokey
Fred Hammond.
Norfolk.
Smokey Norfolk, that dude's a beast.
Karen Sheard.
Okay.
Who else my mama listened to?
Y'all was like gospel.
Kurt Franklin.
Yeah.
All the albums.
Yeah.
Who else? BB and CC.
Yeah.
For the longest, I thought they were married.
No, brother and sister.
Yeah.
BB and CC was a part of my growing up. A part of my growing up because I remember vividly spending a lot of Sundays mornings at my grandma's sometimes, and like she would be up eggs, bacon, rice,
Ooh, the nostalgia.
and Canton spirituals.
Ah.
I like the Canton
Classic.
spirituals,
Yeah,
but
that's
I like old like you can tell the church was hot when you listen to the
Yeah.
song.
Ain't got no carpet.
Right.
No cushion in the pew.
No cushion in the pew.
Yeah.
Like, but you still was there 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, before the pandemic, we was in church mad long.
Foot stomping, hand clapping.
But I will tell you this: Canton spirituals.
Don't mind me.
My go-to is James Cleveland. I love James Cleveland. Maddie Moss. I like I like mass choir
Her
sounds.
name is just,
It give you
it
chills.
just gives me, I got chills down my back for real.
She's a beast. She's a beast. But anyway, listen. You know, not to get caught up because we get to talk about gospel music
yeah.
all day, especially old gospel music. But we're talking about feelings of loneliness.
Alone in the room.
Yeah, just being in a room full of people but still feeling alone. I think, you know, that's an interesting space. I'm starting to meet a lot of people who are like very influential and popular loners.
Yeah, same.
Spend a lot of time by themselves, but like everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
Bandwidth is crazy. Like there's a
bless
lot
you.
of times where I feel tired when I leave from around a lot of people. I don't really want to be around too many people. But I guess like the first question to start the show is like, what causes? Excuse me.
Don't die.
What causes feelings of loneliness?
I think a lot of things can contribute to that feeling. Depending upon who you are and what you do on a day-to-day basis, you may feel that you are misunderstood.
Okay.
Maybe you're good in a lot of spaces, but you're just not good with people.
Okay.
Or at relationships. I know a lot of people like that. Brilliant, super intelligent, crazy business mind, don't really know how to maintain healthy relationships or, people, socialize.
Yeah.
A lot of different things can contribute. Depression, it's a symptom somewhere in there.
I think too, like I know for me, like the more people I meet, the more I am okay with not being in the spotlight, cause it's a lonely space. Like whenever I feel like a lot of times when you're in a position of influence at a young age, you kind of learn how to really be by yourself, or being in a space where a lot of the work you do is dependent upon your mind, your skills, right? Yeah. But it does bring about a sense of self-sufficiency, but it's a struggle, man. Like that was one of the things I struggled with during the pandemic. I felt really, really lonely. And that's kind of part of the reason why I, was like, man, maybe I should get me like another, do something that would put me around people, because man, like especially in my pastoral role, I was by myself. Nobody was at the church, like literally 5 days a week. There would be days where I would literally go into my office, and if I didn't talk to somebody on the phone, or nobody was cleaning the church, or the administrator wasn't there, or the nonprofit people weren't there, man, I would go hours without talking to anybody.
That's crazy. That's a scary place. For me, I think, and I can say this because I know that there are some issues with abandonment somewhere in there. It's all right, I'm unpacking that. But sometimes feelings of loneliness can come when you, just in your uniqueness, that there's legitimately nobody else exactly like you. So that means that not everybody is going to do relationship like you. Not everybody is going to handle business like you. So naturally, there are a lot of weights you just carry. And it's just like, can anybody really relate to that? You know what I mean? That's a lonely feeling. Yeah. Just, being who you are, like you said, having things depend on you and your mind and your skill set and, your drive. Yeah.
Yeah, like people, people have offered. Like a lot of people offer to like help me.
I'm bad. And I don't know if it's arrogance, but I don't want help I got to manage. If you want to help me, if you really want to be a help, I don't need to look at it and I need to know it's right. I just need to know that. That is help.
That's a one-liner.
That's help.
Like help I don't have to manage. I think that's the thing too. And like sometimes people like ask, hey, hey man, you ever need any help with anything, let me know. And it's just like, as much as I would like help,
your heart's in the right place.
It's hard. How you gonna help me with my sermon though? I gotta put that together, and you don't think like I think, and I mean,
you gotta ask the right person.
No.
I've helped with a couple sermons.
I feel like
shameless plug.
I feel like Nas. Like I just gotta do it myself. Now I'll take some.
That's fair.
I'll bounce an idea. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'll bounce an idea, but yeah, I feel like I have to manage that help. And I think those feelings come from a place of other aspects in our life, right? I feel like there's a lot, like people who are hyper independent.
Yeah.
It comes from a space of, whether it's like childhood where they had to be independent at a young age.
Somebody to make them feel safe enough to be vulnerable.
Right. Yeah. I know even for my mom, like even sometimes I feel like her help, she has to control the way you receive the help and the way she helps you.
That's my mama.
It has to be her. I feel like sometimes if you ask my mom for help, it's gonna be her way.
All her. Yeah, that's my mama. Yeah. And hearts are in the right place, we just all have different things that drive us. Like even me, I'm and I say overly, it's kind of projected. Maybe people don't feel that way, but I'm a doer, and I'm just gonna do all that I can so that you won't feel like I'm not doing anything at all. So hopefully if I do it all, then ain't nothing missing. You can't say that you're lacking anything. That's just how I am as a person. And literally every facet of my life, my job, my relationship, my ministry, my ministry outside of church. Like, like all the places. That's just how I am. I don't know if that's a trauma response or if that's just.
I've learned that delegation is gonna put you in a place in which you have to be okay with things not looking the way that you've envisioned them 100%. And a lot of that comes from the fact that nothing is ever as perfect as we envision it when we close our eyes.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's always gonna be like, man, well maybe I could have done that better, or maybe I could have, right? Like not saying that it's imperfect, or there could be some imperfections, but we tend to be okay with those imperfections, right? Like, and I think when it comes to feelings of loneliness, it really boils down to relatability, right?
Yeah.
Finding somebody to relate to. It also boils down to sometimes people feel alone just because they don't have people skills. Yeah. They don't necessarily know how to interact with individuals. And then there's another one that some people are just trash people.
Yeah.
And they're lonely because they're trash. And I know that's a little harsh. Maybe I shouldn't call people trash, Mike. But I mean, I'm just
people are trash.
Being honest.
Yeah, but people are trash.
I think there's some people that just are fun to be around, and they just suck the air out of the room, and it's like a chore. I mean, I got some people that I really love, that I would consider friends. But it is a chore to be.
Yep, I have to mentally prepare.
What?
I gotta breathe. Okay, I got this.
In the car.
Yeah.
Before I walk in.
Thinking about 3 people right now.
It is essentially like they are the epitome of who all is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Who all over there.
Who over there?
Right. Because I'm at a place now where I'm like, I'll say no. I'm not coming, bro.
I'll pray on it.
I'm not coming, dog.
I'll pray about it.
And it's nothing against them. It's just I gotta manage my bandwidth.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Social battery matters.
Yeah. Could it be? What about like the lack of interaction due to depression?
Depression is a monster, and I think that it's hard. Because even when I was thinking about these questions or these different angles, depression is hard because you have to somehow find the strength to file between the truth and the lie. Like depression can lie to you, but it can also exaggerate the truth and like make it more extreme, thus making it something that it's really probably not. But depression is rough. I mean, as one who suffers from major depression, I can absolutely tell you that you have to be intentional and active about like your environment, your immediate environment. I'm personally working through not totally isolating or working through my debilitation, because like maybe a year and a half, my depression would be so debilitating. Couldn't go to work. I'm good to even take a shower that day, have a meal that day. Like, I don't want to turn the lights on. I don't want to talk to nobody, phone on D&D. But being intentional about who's around me. Are these people gonna pour? What do I like to do? Make yourself do that. And everything, you have to celebrate everything is a win when you're depressed. I got out the bed. That's something to be excited about. Yeah. I took a shower. Yeah. That's something to be excited about.
Yeah, I went to church.
So yeah, like those things matter. Never make it seem like it's a small feat. It's really not. Not in the realm of depression.
And I think the more you find those wins, the greater confidence you have in doing those things on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
I think one of the things for me, and it may be one of the reasons why I don't really like talking about stuff, because I talk to somebody every week about it. Like, so by the time I get done 2 o'clock in therapy. I don't need to talk to nobody about nothing because I've let it all out. I've talked to shout out to my therapist. I was about to say his name, and I didn't want to do that. But yeah, man, shout out to my therapist. But man, I'm for real. Like I go in there, I sit down and I be just unloading. Just be the clip be full, bah, bah, bah. And he be sitting over there. You know, sometimes he just be looking at me, and he be like, man, and he'll tell me at the end of the session. He be like, man, it's always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you, man. I feel like I learned so much. Wow. And I'll be like, bro, what you mean learn? Like and that's the thing too, that when you're dealing with those types of things as it pertains to, depression, a lot of times we have to remember that some people aren't going to relate to it because there are a number of people that haven't been in that debilitating place. And on top of that, as black folks, man, we, especially church-going black folks, sometimes we've been in survival mode so long that like we be spiraling and just dealing with it. And I'll never forget when I first started going to therapy, I told my therapist, I said, well, I mean, it ain't like I'm spiraling. She said, how do you know? I was like, dang. Maybe I don't know. But I noticed that like when I'm going through these situations, for me, it's a situation where I kind of just stop talking to people. Yeah. I go weeks at a time just without talking to anybody. Yep. I'm very high functioning, I think, a lot of times, the high functioning nature of my day to day. I feel like there's moments where loneliness seeps in because I do have a hard time finding that relatability, even with my colleagues. Because sometimes with my colleagues, I be sitting there like, bro, you don't have to talk like that, dog. Like you're not standing in the pulpit, bro. Chill. Yeah. I don't want to hear that type of speech while we watching the Cowboys game. Yeah. So it's like I can't really relate to you.
I got a friend, been active in ministry for years, and what's this? 2000? It's about to be 2024. It's 2024.
It is not.
When the people watching this.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe two.
They know our episodes are pre-recorded.
Maybe 2 years ago, he thought he was dying. Thought he was having a heart attack. It was an anxiety attack.
Oh, I had one during Bible class.
Just realizing that he was not dealing.
Nope.
He was like moving on to the next thing because somehow he was conditioned to think that self-maintenance was not an option, especially being in ministry. But, to think that you're almost like you about to clock out. Like you think your body is like, this is it.
I've been there.
And ain't nothing really happening.
Yeah.
That's scary.
I literally, so it's kind of a crazy situation because I thought I was having an adverse reaction to a pre-workout. So I was working out and I couldn't shake the jitters. And so I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna work out. And it finally kind of dissipated. And then I went to church and I was teaching Bible class and literally my heart started racing. It was like the walls were closing in. I was like really sweaty. And I sat down and tried to and I put it back on the class. I was like, okay, well, you all discuss this amongst yourselves. I'm gonna grab a chair. I sat down. I taught the rest of the class in a chair. And then after class, I went back to my office and I laid down for 30 minutes. And then I preached. And literally I got out of the pulpit, heart racing again, and I went to the ER. And I went to the ER, my blood pressure kind of bottomed out a little bit. The doctor was like, man, you're having a panic attack. And it was scary because it felt like, I was like, man, is this what a heart attack feels like? Like I really thought.
I used to have them all the time. They are so bad. So bad. Ain't nothing like your body, your body sends all the signals and the alerts and fight or flight there's nothing. There's nothing. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's almost like a fight flight at the same time. Yeah. Like you're frozen, but you're trying to fight this feeling, and I think what people like there's so many times, man, like there's so many things that people have to overcome by themselves. And like, we live in like this society that kind of commercializes and like champions this idea of survival.
Doing stuff alone, yeah.
Like doing it alone, like I got it
weird.
out the mud, and da da da. And it's like there's nothing that we could do in life in which we don't need at least one other person to help us get to. So those feelings of loneliness, man, are debilitating.
Yeah.
And I wish everybody that is dealing with loneliness right now an opportunity to just find some peace, find some
Create it.
Yeah. Or find some companionship that you could depend on when you're having a rough moment.
Yeah.
Like somebody that'll answer the phone and be like, yo, yeah, let's go get some coffee, or let's go over here, let's do this, let's get out the house, come on, like let's figure out something. You need a friend like that, because a lot of times if you don't, it's gonna make life really, really tough.
Yep. The remedy is to always do the opposite.
Oh.
Do the opposite of what you feel. That's always the remedy. It will never be easy. So get past the discomfort. Like that's just, you'll never be comfortable. Accept that. But the remedy is to always do the opposite.
To push past.
Yep.
Yeah, so like instead of like getting into bed at like 4:30, do something that's gonna help you. You know, whether that's giving your brain time to wind down, journaling your feelings. There's a lot of cool stuff out there, man. Like tapping, like becoming one, being in the moment.
Time off social media works wonders.
Okay. You be taking time away from social media?
I do. Because I have learned about myself that naturally I just consume stuff. Like, shut up. The fixer in me, the hero in me wants to fix like everything.
You know what I feel? You know what I feel like deep? Like almost like I'm the person going through it.
What?
Like I get secondhand embarrassment.
Oh,
bad.
yes.
Like
Real
when
bad.
I see something and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I hate that. But nevertheless, social media is a draining place. It's horrible out there on social media. Take a couple days off social media and decide to unplug and not care about all the stuff that's forced in your face for 48 hours.
You know what helps with loneliness too, and what helps with these feelings of depression? Having a nightly routine. I'm telling you, it works wonders. Like, so one of the things that I started doing halfway through the year was a nightly routine. So every night I'll read something positive. I'll go over my affirmations one last time, and I'll journal. Like I will do that every night. And then there are times when I don't do it, I'm restless.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have a nightly routine.
It works
like
for you, for
as
sure.
fast as this world moves,
Yep.
you know, it's hard to just shut your mind off.
Yep.
And I really learned that whenever I was, I'm about to be real transparent right now. I really learned that when my grandmother died, because like self-medication is real, man. Like it's really real. And you know, I was having a hard time sleeping. So those were moments where, you know, self-medication, or even like, you know, finding some sort of, you know, pill to help me I was considering it because it was like, man, like what am I gonna do? Like it wasn't a situation to where, you know, me and my grandmother talked every day. It wasn't anything like that. The challenge was the fact that I began to think about all of
Who you are.
Yeah, like who I am. Like a piece of my childhood was gone. And like and that's what I think about. Like there's really no reason for me to go back to Abilene, Texas anymore. For what?
That's rough.
She's not living, the house isn't there.
I don't want to talk about that. I'm gonna start crying.
But I mean, you know, hey, this is a real show about real stuff, right?
Yeah, you don't get over that pain like ever.
So I think the remedy for me, I'll say the remedy for Vince was a nightly routine, like spending time shutting down my brain. And the remedy now is also finding people that are going to reciprocate the pouring. Because when you're a fixer, or when you're just a giving person, a lot of times people will take.
Gotta be restored.
Yeah.
Reciprocity is not nothing to be ashamed of asking for.
I like that
And
word,
don't
reciprocity.
let nobody make you feel bad about requiring it. Period. If you see me with somebody, believe that it's reciprocal. Anybody you see me with, it's reciprocal. I am so beyond one-sided relationships, friendships. Like, that's not the way of the world. It's not how it works, and that's not how relationship is designed. It's supposed to be give and take. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So if you see me with them, know we friends for real.
Hey,
We
man,
friends for real.
The good book says, man, a brother is born for adversity.
Yeah.
So if they're your brother, they're your sister, they're your friend, understand that adversity is a part of the process.
And it ain't something you gotta ask for.
Oh, here the last one. The last one is fire. The last one is this. Be careful about the people who are just only around like in your times of mourning. Like, and like when you start celebrating wins, you don't hear from them. When you're growing, you don't hear from them. You know, when you secure that big contract, video shoot, whatever,
Ain't no
they ain't
congratulations.
calling, they ain't texting. You don't post it on Facebook. You
Act like
"Ooh."
you don't see it. You
Right,
saw it.
Right. So like I'm starting to learn that because there's a lot of people when I was having a rough time or I was miserable, boy, they was around. And then, man, things started to get better.
Some people need to feel like they are needed. Like some people need to feel that.
Some people also only hang around people who are doing worse than them.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Mike, I think Mike like that point.
There's a lot of people like
I think
that.
Mike like
And then
that
that'll make you feel lonely too, because then it's just like
for sure.
like sometimes it be people that you grew up with.
Them the biggest haters.
Sometimes it be family.
For sure.
It be family. You be like, dang,
That's
like
a different episode for a different day. I almost said a whole bunch just then.
yeah, we probably need to shut it down. I think it's probably been a little bit of time. We gonna go off in the deep end.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't take nothing else though, you know, do the opposite.
But if you're feeling alone, know that you're not alone. You're not alone.
Never.
And listen, if you need somebody to talk to, reach out to, hit us up, man.
DM
hit
us,
up.
man.
Let us know. People have. We've been able to connect some people to some resources.
For sure. Oh yeah,
so-
that does my heart so good.
Yeah. So please, just give us an opportunity to be of a service, of a resource for you.
For sure.
You know, we say we love y'all, we mean it.
For sure. Peace.